On Europe's far eastern frontier, cradled between Ukraine and Romania, lies one of Europe's least visited countries, Moldova. This small post-Soviet nation flies under the radar of most European vacations, and that's exactly what drew me to it. After immersing myself in the vibrant streets of Chișinău, I set my sights beyond the capital, drawn to the rolling countryside. Here, time slows, revealing ancient monasteries steeped in tradition and vineyards that tell a story of Moldova's deep-rooted winemaking heritage. What I discovered was a land of surprising beauty and untold stories. And here's how it went. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Moldova. A few days ago, I took you guys on a bit of a city tour around the capital of this small Eastern European country called Chișinău. And then this weekend, it was really fun. It actually happened to be the national day of the city of Chișinău here. So there was a huge celebration. All of these streets were shut down and there were like food stalls, and then there was a big concert and music and dancing. And so it's actually been like a really fun time to be here in Moldova. And I've only been in Moldova for about 4 days, and I'm leaving tomorrow. And one thing I like to do when I'm in new countries is see something besides the city here. So today I'm hoping to go on a couple small little day trips from Chișinău. There's some old monasteries that aren't too far from here. And then Moldova is actually a huge wine producing region too, right outside of the main city of Chișinău here. So yeah, hoping to find some public transport to go to one of the oldest monasteries here, and then hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to check out a few of the wineries here in Moldova. So yeah, let's head to the central bus station and see if we can figure out this day trip. I've just come to the central bus station here, and you're looking for a bus to Butuceni, and it's really hard. Not many people speak English here to find, but you'll just look for one of these little marshutkas. I don't know all the timetables, but this bus leaves at about 8:35 in the morning. So yeah, let's check it out. I just had about an hour and 15-minute drive to the little village of Butuceni, which is right before Butuceni, and this is the site of the old ORHEI, which is one of the most historic sites here in Moldova. And you have ruins of some very old medieval castles and churches. So yeah, let's start by hiking up to the 14th century Orthodox monastery that's up along this ridge here. I have just hiked up this ridge line towards the monastery here, and you just have this beautiful view looking down on these farm fields here, and then right on the other side of the ridge you could look down on the village, and it's just been very pretty, very peaceful. You can hear like the chickens and the cows in the distance, and we're just about to enter the little monastery courtyard here, so let's head in and see what we can see in the monastery. I've just entered the little courtyard of the monastery here, and you have these beautiful flowers and little garden, and then right in the center of the monastery is the St. Maria Church, which has these nice gold domes. Just got some really nice aerial views of them with the drone, and you just have this church just sitting on this cliff. I think this monastery, there's not much information, but I think it was built in the 14th or 16th century, somewhere in there. So let's head into the St. Maria Church here and see what it looks like on the inside. So that was the Saint Maria Church here right in the middle of the monastery, and pretty small church, and it's very dark inside, and it was just unique because it was just all lit by candlelight. Like even the chandelier that was hanging from the ceiling was just candlelight, so it had this very warm glow to it. It also made it very dark, but yeah, some beautiful paintings all along the walls there. Anyways, as we were walking up the cliff here, there was a little bell tower, and supposedly under the bell tower there are some cave monasteries that the monks used to hide from the Ottoman invasion in the 1600s. So let's go back to the bell tower and see if that cave monastery is open, and if we can check out some of those. That'd be pretty cool. So yeah, let's check it out. I've just come down the hill from St. Mary's Church right beneath the bell tower here, and the monk just came down as well, and he opened up the door to some of the cave monasteries that are down here. And again, some of the monks used these as shelters during the 1600s from the Ottoman invasion, and then even during the Soviet rule when practicing your religion was forbidden, some of the monks would practice their religion hidden in some of these caves. So yeah, let's head into the caves. I've just come down to this cave monastery here, and there's a little bit of an Orthodox church to it that's just carved right out of these rocks, and you have these wooden altars, and then you have all of these golden iconography all around, and yeah, just very old. And then you can go down a little bit further and you can see some of the old rooms and bed chambers that the old monks used to live in back when they were hiding and residing in some of these cliffs here. And then you can come out the back of the church here, and it just opens up to this beautiful view of the countryside, and you're right on the cliff's edge of some of these caves here, which is just really cool, really beautiful. That was fascinating to see a little cave monastery here and the church, and then yeah, just those beautiful views overlooking the farmland in this little village. So that's the main part of the old ORHEI that's on this kind of cliff's edge here. But according to the map, there's some more ruins out in some of that farmland of some old churches. It even said ruins of an old mosque. So we're gonna go check that out. But first, I want to just head down to the little village of Butuceni here, and yeah, just walk through a local village here, see if there's any life, anything going on, and then we'll circle our way around to some of that farmland, see if we can find some more ruins of this old village. that was the tiny little village of Butuceni, and very sleepy little town. There was barely anything going on, but it was really cute just walking around, seeing all these little homes, and I probably saw more animals than people. But there was this little museum that showed you what a house would have looked like here in the early 1900s. And then there was also a really good restaurant called Eco Resort, and they had really good traditional food, very cozy interior, very amazing, like fresh farm to table food. So super glad I found that, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna find any restaurants out here today. So anyways, now we're gonna walk from this village to Trebuceni, and along the way, according to the map, there's some ruins of the really old town from the 6th century that are somewhere in this little valley here. So let's see if we can find that on our way to the other little village. We have just walked down the cliff of the village up there and through this little valley, and there were some beautiful vineyards and farmland, and now we're hitting some of the ruins of the 6th century settlement that was here in the old ORHEI. And here we have some of the remaining walls of the governor's palace, and it's not too impressive honestly seeing this, but it's really cool looking back across the valley here and seeing the monastery up on that cliff there. And then again, according to our map, there's a couple other old remains from the 6th century of a church and a caravanserai. So yeah, let's just continue walking along the street here towards the next village and see if we find these other ruins. We're basically in the middle of the farm fields here, and we have a couple of these footprints of these ruins from about the 1300s probably. We have this old Orthodox cathedral. We just have like the little bit of the base of it, and then we just walked by what was an old mosque and caravanserai, which was like a marketplace that has quite a bit bigger of a footprint. But again, you're just kind of seeing the ruins on the ground level here. So not too much to see, but it is very interesting to just like picture this used to be a thriving old village here, because we're just in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, very interesting. We're gonna keep walking, heading towards the village. I think there's a few more ruins we'll see along the way. Right across the street from the ruins of the church and the mosque there, you can cross the road and come to this cliff's edge where you're looking right down on the village of Trebuceni, which is quite a lot bigger than I expected, to be honest. It sprawls through this valley here and up into the hills, and then there's this nice little river that kind of cuts right along the cliffs here. And they say the village here dates back to about the 3rd or 4th century. So yeah, it has quite a historic spot here. And again, you're right next to a lot of these ruins of some of the older civilizations here. Anyways, originally I was gonna go kind of check out the village, but I think this is just a great overview of it. And I know the bus picks us up at about 2:45. So I think I'm gonna head back to the original village there to make sure I don't miss the bus back to Chișinău. So that was old ORHEI here, which was pretty interesting. There's not like a ton to do here, but just the geography of this place where the monastery is like right on this cliff, and you have this meandering river that just goes right around, and then you have these really cute little villages, and seeing the cave monastery was really fascinating. And yeah, just really nice to get out of the main city of Moldova and see just a little bit of the countryside. And yeah, just giving me another taste of Moldova was pretty awesome. I'm sure you could like book a tour if you wanted to, but I always like trying to figure out the local transport and all that. So anyways, I'm gonna go back and try to catch the bus back in the direction of Kishinev. But right before I get to Kishinev, we're going by one of the wine regions called Cricova. So I'm gonna see if I can get off near there and check out one of the wineries in this area. So yeah, let's get the bus. So I have just gotten to the little town of Cricova, and the walk here was just beautiful. You're going through all of these rolling hills of these golden grapevines, and it just has a beautiful landscape. And then I've come across town to the Cricova subterranean wine cellars, and Moldova is known to have some of the largest underground wine cellars. There's just a huge maze of these things where all of the wine is stored. And so here you have the option to do a wine cellar tour, but it's about $30 US. But I also kind of just want to taste some of the wine. So I think I'm gonna head to the restaurant here and just try some of the Moldovan wine without doing the tour. I've just come down to their restaurant tasting room here, and I've ordered one of their reds, one of their rosés, and one of their whites. And it's kind of cool because you get a little bit of the idea of the cellar vibe here. You can see some of the wines lined up on the walls, how they would be in the cellar there. But yeah, and each of these glasses is only like $2. So this is definitely good value if you just want to try some of the wines here. I do feel like I'm missing out by not doing the whole cellar tour, but you can see a few pictures of it here and there, but I'm sure it would be pretty cool. But $30 is a little steep for that, so I'm just here to try the wine. Cricova winery, and again, I just never knew that Moldova was such a big wine producing region. And yeah, it was kind of cool because you were able to go down into a little bit of a cave there and try out some of the wines there. I usually like to have my wines like overlooking the vineyards and outside, but given that this is like one of the largest underground wine cellars in the world, it was kind of cool to have your wine down there and see a little bit of what that would look like. So, and again, you could do a tour of the whole wine cellar if you wanted to, which is like a whole like underground city. And they said there's over 30 million liters of wine down under the ground right here, which is just incredible to think about. So yeah, but that's about it. I think I'm gonna head back to Kishinev pretty soon here, and that about ends my day trip from the main city of Moldova here, checking out the old ORHEI village and then doing a little bit of the wine tasting region. There was one other place that I would have liked to go if I had time, and it was the Kirki monastery, which was another beautiful church out in the countryside of Moldova. So if you had a little bit more time, or if you wanted to book a tour, I'm sure you could fit all of that in one day, but doing the public transport and everything was a little bit tough, trying to figure out all of the logistics of this. Again, being a small country, Kishinev is a good place as a base to be able to do some of these day trips out into the countryside. So yeah, and that finishes my Euro trip as well. Tomorrow I'm actually on a flight back to the US, and then I'm down to Mexico, and I'm hoping to do Day of the Dead in a couple weeks, which is a really cool celebration that I've wanted to do for a long time. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys next time when I'm in Mexico.